always had a fascination with ghost stories, the kind that sent chills down your spine. One day I stumbled upon a dusty old book filled with tales of haunted places from around the world. Little did I know that my curiosity would lead me into the heart of a supernatural nightmare. The first story took me to an abandoned castle in Scotland. Locals spoke of a ghostly piper whose haunting melody echoed through the stone corridors. Ignoring the eerie warnings, I ventured inside with a flashlight, determined to experience the supernatural firsthand. As I explored the dark halls, the air grew cold, and the distant sound of bagpipes filled the silence. Shadows danced on the walls, and suddenly, a figure materialized, the ghostly piper. His eyes locked onto mine, and a bone-chilling wind swept through the castle. Panic set in as I realized the ghostly tales were real. I fled the castle, the spectral melody haunting my every step. Next, I traveled to Japan to explore an abandoned shrine. Legend spoke of a vengeful spirit, a wronged maiden seeking revenge. The atmosphere became heavy as I wandered through the overgrown paths. In the lantern-lit darkness, a figure in a white kimono appeared, the vengeful maiden. Her eyes held a mix of sadness and anger, and a bone-deep chill settled in. Terrified, I retreated from the shrine, the sorrowful cries of the maiden echoing behind me. Undeterred, I journeyed to Mexico, where the locals whispered of La Llorona, the weeping woman who mourned her lost children. Standing by the riverbank, her mournful wails filled the night. A ghostly figure emerged, La Llorona herself. Her tattered gown floated as she reached out to me with spectral hands. Dread filled me as I realized I had encountered the weeping woman. I fled from the riverbank, haunted by the ghostly specter and the weight of her eternal grief. In Romania, a cursed forest awaited, inhabited by vengeful spirits. Determined, I entered the darkened woods. Whispers echoed, unseen eyes watched, and a ghastly figure materialized, a spectral entity with hollow eyes. The vengeful spirits closed in, and panic turned to terror as I stumbled through the dense foliage, pursued by supernatural entities. Exhausted, I found myself trapped in a clearing, surrounded by ghostly figures. Their anguished cries reached a deafening crescendo as an otherworldly force pulled at my soul. In that chilling moment, I realized the true horror of my quest for ghost stories. I had become entangled in a web of supernatural forces seeking retribution. As the ghostly figures closed in, their haunting cries grew louder. The air crackled with malevolent energy, and I succumbed to a darkness beyond my understanding. My tale ends here, a cautionary whisper from the shadows. Ghost stories, once a source of fascination, became the haunting reality that consumed me. The spirits from around the world exacted their revenge, leaving me forever entwined with the supernatural forces I had sought to understand.
Haunted tales from around the world always intrigued me, and I couldn't resist the allure of exploring these eerie legends firsthand. My journey led me to an old inn in England, rumored to be haunted by a ghostly figure known as the Silent Innkeeper. Locals spoke of his shadowy presence and the chilling silence that pervaded the once lively establishment. As night fell, I ventured into the creaky inn with a flickering lantern. The air turned icy, and an unsettling hush settled over the deserted halls. Footsteps echoed, and suddenly the figure of the silent innkeeper materialized. His face was obscured by a wide-brimmed hat, and a spectral stillness enveloped the room. A shiver ran down my spine as the ghostly innkeeper gestured toward the door, urging me to leave. Fear gnawed at me, and I fled the inn, haunted by the ghostly silence that clung to me like a ghostly veil. Next, I explored the ancient streets of Kyoto, Japan, drawn to the tale of the Kuchisake Onna, a vengeful spirit with a slit mouth. Legend had it that she appeared to those wandering the lonely streets at night, asking a chilling question. Am I pretty? Terrifyingly, there was no right answer. As I walked through dimly lit alleyways, a soft whispering breeze echoed around me. Suddenly, A pale-faced woman with a blood-red slit mouth stood before me. Her eyes held an otherworldly intensity as she asked the dreaded question. Fear paralyzed me as I stammered an answer. The air grew thick, and the vengeful spirit vanished into the shadows. My heart raced, haunted by the encounter with the Kuchisaki Onna. Undeterred by the growing unease, I ventured into the heart of New Orleans, where voodoo tales spoke of the Rue Bourbon Banshee, a spectral woman with a mournful wail that foretold tragedy. The atmosphere in the historic district turned heavy as I walked along Rue Bourbon, the rhythmic beat of distant drums adding an eerie backdrop. Suddenly, a ghostly figure draped in tattered garments appeared. Her mournful wail echoed through the night, sending a chill down my spine. Locals rushed indoors, leaving me alone with the Rue Bourbon Banshee. The air crackled with a supernatural energy as her spectral eyes met mine, and the tragic future she foretold unfolded before my eyes. Terrified, I fled the haunted street, haunted by the chilling prophecy. My global journey continued to the shadowy corners of Mexico, where tales of the Shaneks, mischievous forest spirits, beckoned me into the dense jungle. As I delved deeper, the air hummed with an otherworldly energy. Whispers echoed through the foliage, and playful laughter danced on the breeze. Suddenly, the mischievous Shaneks materialized, small, ethereal figures with mischievous eyes. Their laughter grew louder, and an unseen force tugged at my belongings. Panic set in as I realized I had become the target of their pranks. I stumbled through the jungle, leaves rustling with unseen movements, haunted by the lingering mischief of the Shaneks. In the ancient ruins of Greece, I sought the mythical tales of the Lamia, a malevolent spirit who preyed on unsuspecting travelers. The moon cast an eerie glow on the crumbling stones as I explored the deserted site. Shadows twisted in the moonlight, and a sinister presence seemed to watch my every move. Suddenly, the Lamia emerged, a spectral figure with piercing eyes. Fear gripped me as she glided toward me, her whispered promises of eternal suffering sending shivers down my spine. The ruins echoed with her eerie laughter as I fled the haunted site, haunted by the lingering malevolence of the Lamia. My global quest for ghostly encounters reached its climax in the misty moors of Ireland, where locals spoke of the Dullahan, a headless horseman carrying a lantern that foretold death. As I walked through the desolate landscape, an oppressive silence settled over the moors. The rhythmic hoofbeats of an unseen steed echoed through the mist. Suddenly, the Dullahan materialized, a spectral figure with a head held high in his hand. The lantern's light flickered ominously as he spoke of impending doom. Panic surged as I realized the prophecy was meant for me. I fled through the mist-shrouded moors, the Dullahan's eerie laughter echoing in my ears. My global odyssey had turned into a haunting nightmare. The spirits from around the world, each with their own chilling tales, had left an indelible mark on my soul. As I sought to understand the supernatural, I became entangled in a web of ghostly encounters, each one leaving me haunted by the echoes of the Forsaken.